We're going to talk land values, news out of Tyson Foods this week, and much more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast that starts now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yeah,
I woke up this morning thinking it was Friday.
It's
And
not.
I was excited to knock the week out.
Most of our podcast recordings are on Thursdays. So
It's amazing.
yeah,
Amazing how that works.
you getting a little foggy in the brain there, old man.
Yeah, sometimes I am a year older this week. So maybe
When's your birthday?
maybe it was Monday.
It was. Huh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
You texted
Belated.
me. Yeah.
Are you lying?
Well, no. It
Trying
was
to make me
Monday.
feel bad on
It
purpose?
was Monday.
It was
You
really
succeeded.
It was really his birthday.
Brian can back me up.
Yeah.
I'm 42. So maybe it is brain fog. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, how's 42 feel? I turned 37 just a few weeks ago, or about a month ago. I guess.
So 40, I was not afraid. Like 40 was kind of like, it's a milestone, but
Yeah.
whatever. After that, I think I'm to that stage of quit counting, sort of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I got you.
Meaning, like, I don't know. I don't really feel different. I'll tell you when I did feel different after dinner, because my wife and daughter took me to have sushi at Kamuri up in Hillcrest.
That's a good one.
Man.
How many rolls did you eat? 2?
Dose. Yeah.
Yeah. The bad thing about sushi, though, after you eat it, like 2 hours later, you're hungry again.
Hungry again, yeah. Well, luckily it was for dinner, so it was kind of bedtime. But actually, I couldn't finish them. They were so big. I showed Brian a picture yesterday. Like, their sushi rolls are so. I'm usually 2 is my go-to. Problem was I went 2 specialties instead of 1 like regular.
$5 sushi rolls.
Yeah, birthday.
It's your birthday. You
One
can do
of
that.
them did have shaved filet mignon on it.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, high roller.
I stopped
Fancy.
just short of the one that they set on fire before they bring it out to your table. I couldn't spend that. I couldn't spend that.
I can just picture go, ooh,
I actually asked, I was like, they're not going to light this on fire, are they? He's like, no, not this one.
That's
Anyway, well, let's see. What else? Speaking of food, shout out to Arkansas Hunters Feeding the Hungry, Ronnie Ritter, his wife, Steve Wildman Wilson, all came by this morning and brought some delicious home baked goods for us to enjoy, some muffins, banana bread.
Yeah, apparently I missed all that.
Sausage
I saw
balls.
the commotion in the office, but I missed out on the food.
Yeah. Well,
And just to clarify, his wife is not Steve Wildman Wilson. That's the way the way you said that. I just wanted everyone to know.
Ronnie Ritter and his wife did all the cooking. And then they brought along with them Steve Wildman Wilson.
Thank you for the clarification.
I am
I appreciate
happy
that.
to
Words
clarify.
matter.
They do matter, and you would think a public relations professional might catch that sort of thing.
It's hard to be perfect.
It's like, yeah. It was good. So we, number one, sorry, I got ahead of myself. We have our interns, Norley and Taylor, in the house today.
Welcome.
Their last day is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah. So they came in asking all kinds of questions, wanting to know, Brian, how to operate all the equipment and stuff. And, we don't know. Me and you don't know how to do that. I just
we're
stayed
just
seated.
just
Yeah.
good-looking faces
sat
here
down
on
and
camera.
talked. Well, I just sat down and talked. That's what we do.
I guess I'm just here to
So,
look good then.
Yeah, you look good. I talk. We've got this covered. But anyway, I will tell you, you guys have done a good job this summer of staying in tune, asking good questions. I think they're probably going to try and start up a rival podcast.
You think so?
Yeah, they were taking notes.
Yeah. Taylor's pretty competitive, it seems like. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, Norley, she is too.
Okay. Look out
Anyway.
for that.
Did y'all get any of that breakfast this morning? Okay, they're both
Say
shaking
yes.
their heads. Yes. This begs the question:
Yeah.
sausage balls, yay or nay? 2-part question.
What's? Oh, you're not going to give me the second part?
Well, it depends on what you say about the
well,
first
you said it was a
part.
two-part question, but
It
you
is.
only asked.
Sorry, sausage balls, yeah or nay, and then I'm gonna hold on. Okay. I
Yes.
changed my mind. Yes. Right.
But I've
he,
had bad sausage balls.
he said yay or nay, not yes.
Yay!
So
Is that better?
Yeah. Hooray is.
I was
my
going to do the
answer.
same thing.
Yeah.
So I just
Here to correct
yay.
everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question is, when's the last time you ate one sausage ball?
Ooh,
Only one.
not today.
It's like a Pringles situation.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And those things were delicious. I oftentimes will cheap out and buy the pre-made ones at the store, and they just don't stand up to the homemade
No,
version.
no.
For some reason, sausage balls always remind me of church.
They remind me of Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah. So
Like we'd always have them after like church or like if you got confirmed or you had a big event at church, the big breakfast layout, there was always sausage balls.
always. Well, they got to be there.
Yeah.
Matthew's not in here, which is disappointing because he had a take in the hallway. And I'm just wondering if y'all have ever heard of this before. He's eating a sausage ball walking down the hallway. He's like, God, I got to get away from these things. I keep eating them. And I'm like, yeah, I love them. They're, so good. And he's like, have you ever gotten the Red Lobster biscuit mix
Oh,
and made sausage balls with that
No.
instead
Oh,
of regular
I-
Bisquick?
I will attest. I have not done that, but I've had it, and it's life changing.
Is it really?
It's very
I'm
good.
doing this.
It's so good.
We might do
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah. That sounds like.
I mean, also I think a sausage balls is a winter, cooler weather food.
Oh.
Probably because I associate it with Christmas.
I would agree.
But I might have to.
Well, it
knock
just
some
cracks
out
me
this
up because
weekend.
there was somebody sitting
Mm-hmm.
in a Red Lobster and took a bite of that cheese biscuit and was like, "Oh man, you know what would be good with this?"
Yeah.
Breakfast sausage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either that or they took them home after eating at Red Lobster and got
Yeah.
up the next morning and had some sausage.
Yeah, like a leftover.
Hey.
Yeah, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
No free publicity. Should have
Yeah.
said that first.
Well-
but anyway, he says that's the way to do it, and I'm going to try it.
You think we'll get a Red Lobster sponsorship out of this conversation?
Maybe so. we don't talk about seafood too often, but we'll see.
If only.
Yeah.
Let me see. On to non-food related topics, but exciting news. We are launching Arkansas Agriculture online next week, August 15th. And let me take a step back and explain that a little bit. This is a magazine that we used to put out quarterly, I think. It's been a little while, that we took out of print last year, I believe, and wanted to bring it back, but in a format that could be easier to access, more up to date, more sort of news focused, much like this show is. So we are bringing that back as Arkansas Ag online, and that will be back on August 15th. If you follow our social channels, you have probably seen quite a bit of promo on this. I think today there was a 5-day countdown on it. So anyway, looking forward to that. We can't give you the URL right now because then you would all go there, and that would be launching on August 10th, not
There's
August
nothing there
15th. There's stuff there.
Okay.
There's stuff there, but we just can't share it yet. Anyhow, make sure you check that out. A lot of the news that we cover on the show is going to be there after the fact. There's going to be some exclusive video content there that you won't be able to get anywhere else. Some farmer profiles, some things like that. So I'm really excited to see that go live. I know Shaylee on our team has done a lot of hard work on that. Brian's done a lot of hard work on that. And it'll be nice to see that sort of come to fruition and be out there. All the Ag Insiders.
There we go.
Goodness gracious.
I mean,
what
we're
was
going
I
to be
thinking?
famous after this.
Yeah,
I
well.
can't wait. No, I've been excited about it. We've been looking forward to it for a while. So
Yeah.
15th is going to be a big day.
Yep, it will be. Let me see. What else? Cultivating Safe Roads. This is our road safety campaign and initiative that you guys have seen and heard. We talk about it in the middle of the show every week. And we have a new phase of that program out this week, and that is a focus on rural roads and bicycles. Rural road safety and bicycles. And this is really important because if you haven't been living under a rock or away for a number of years, then you know that cycling as a sport has really taken an uptick in the state of Arkansas. We have seen, of course, here in Central Arkansas, we have several bike trails and things of that nature, bike races, all this. Northwest Arkansas cycling has almost become synonymous.
It's
with
a
Northwest
tourism
Arkansas.
destination now for mountain bikers and cycling in general. They've had all those races.
Yeah, exactly. And then some of the state parks incorporate these trails, mountain bike trails. We're seeing areas. My parents live over in Crittenden County, and I know there's a bike trail that you can ride your bike on gravel all the way to Memphis from Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much of this down where your in-laws are. There's trails down there now.
Yeah,
you actually could ride from to Memphis from Helena.
You might be able to. I know you could drive all the way down or ride all the way to Snow Lake, I think, on that trail. I think Matthew's been on it, actually.
Yeah, he has. And then down around Bradley County. Anyway, point being, we are seeing these trails really pop up and cycling take off. I think it's many millions dollar industry for the state as far as economic driver goes. And so we heard concerns from our members about keeping farmers safe and farmers keeping cyclists safe on these rural roads. And gravel riding has really taken off because, frankly, it's much safer than riding on the side of a highway or a city street. Anyhow, so we released a conversation between Wes Evans, who's a member of the Benton County Farm Bureau Board and a livestock farmer up there in Benton County, and then Andy Chastain, who's really a leader in the cycling industry, especially in Arkansas, but really nationwide. And these guys just sat down and had a conversation. Matthew and I were lucky enough to be there for that conversation. And they just sat down and sort of talked, hey, as a farmer, what are some things you could tell me to help me while I'm out riding my bike? And then Wes asked Andy the same question.
Insights from both parties.
Yeah, as a cyclist, tell me something I need to know, you know. And it was really an interesting conversation. We put this out, I want to say Monday, and this thing it's in the double digits, thousands of views. I mean, it has really taken off.
I think it's really good video.
So I think it's cool. There's more to come on that front. But just keep an eye out. And I just want to stop and say this. We could not have done this. We have worked in partnership with Runway Group and their Arkansas R3 campaign, which is Respect Rural Roads. To do some of this work as well, and we're really grateful for them. We've been partners on their initiative. They've helped us on this one. So anyway, just wanted to say that. And
I've always thought or always said that if you're not involved in agriculture on a day-to-day basis, then you're very disconnected from it. You eat food, you wear these clothes, and you live in a house. So you're a part of agriculture one way or another. But if you're not exactly involved in the production or any assistance of the industry, then it's hard to be in the know. Having that video and that conversation, I think, is a good start to going a long way in what we can do with each other. Yeah.
Well, it's just the other thing about it is it's just sometimes there's just some mechanics, some details that you need to know to keep somebody safe. I worked in agriculture for over a decade.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, it never crossed my mind that tractors are set up to see the work you're doing, not the road around you. Yeah. And that's one of the points Wes makes is like, this tractor is built for me to see the ground and what I'm working on, not people who want to come up and pass me behind me, And he says, like, sometimes if I know I'm going to take a left turn, I see somebody behind me, I'll sort of swing out and drive in the middle of the road a little bit so they know something's going to happen, And I thought that was so cool. Okay, well, next time I'm on a bike, hey, I'll watch for that signal, or something like that.
Yeah, and to add to my previous comment, like on the farmer side, you probably don't have a whole lot of time to ride a bicycle, right? Because you're working all the time.
Right.
So what opportunity do you have to find more information about what cyclists are doing on a day-to-day basis or why they're out there?
Yeah.
And not where you think people should be riding bikes. So I think it was a really good opportunity for both sides to come together and try to help each other.
Yeah, it was cool. So go check it out. It's on Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. You can find it. It won't be difficult to find. And thank you if you're one of our County Farm Bureau offices who have shared that on Facebook or social media. Thank you for doing that, because we've gotten a lot of good warm reception over that content. I've got crop progress. Is there anything we need to cover? Because that's going to get us right into the news.
No.
Nothing on the top of your head?
No.
Okay. Ladies, anything? No? They say no. They're just ready to get out of here.
We've had some abnormal rain again.
We have, and that...
not mad at it.
That was going to be at the end of the crop progress, but we can open with that. I've gotten probably 1.5 inches at my house this week.
Have you?
Some storms. I don't know. I have not talked to anybody in north central, northeast Arkansas. Maybe, I don't know if you have. I know y'all have got family up in Stone County, but I know there was supposed to be some severe weather up there last night. Craighead, up around that area. I have no idea if that came to fruition.
Anything.
Well, I know Nora Lee was up in Harrison yesterday, and there was rain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's supposed to be some severe weather moving across the top sort of third of the state last night. And I saw it on the map, but I don't know if it turned severe or not. They were concerned about wind and large hail. And, anyhow, last thing we need is more severe weather this summer.
No kidding.
Man. All right. Well, that said, I have been given a theme for each of the crop progress reports, crop progress updates on the show. And for this week, let's just say if we had the budget, we could play the Jeffersons theme song.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, trivia time based on that.
Oh, how fun.
Can you predict what sort of the outlying theme of this report's going to be?
How much time do I have? Can I read this?
Moving on up.
I'm going to say, moving on up. Positive vibes.
That is. Hey, it is positive vibes. Take it in. The state's corn crop saw a slight uptick this week. And I lost my place just like that. With about 60% of the crop rated at good to excellent, and another quarter of the crop in the fair column. I drove down to your hometown this week.
Did you?
You were there yesterday.
There was a lot of us in Stuttgart this week.
Yeah. And I saw quite a bit of corn turning brown. I'm sure it will not be long before we get going on that. Cotton also looks a little better this week, now around 67% in the good to excellent column, and with 20% rated as fair, also an improvement, like I said, over last week. Peanuts have also ticked back up over last week, now more than 80% good to excellent, moving back towards the 90% that we saw just a few weeks ago. Rice, if you'll recall, was the only crop to see an improvement in quality in last week's report. That increase continues this week with almost 3/4 of the crop in good to excellent condition. I've also driven by a lot of rice this week and talked to some farmers who are ready to go. They say probably next 10 days or so before they start harvesting rice. Does that line up with what?
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard the other day at a policy development
Really?
meeting.
Yeah.
They were getting ready to pull water off, and then it'd be about 10 days after that.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of corn in between Mariana and Hughes. That it's not far off either. I hadn't really seen any soybeans turning yet, other than what I saw coming back from the beach the other week.
Yeah, Successful Farmer.
But good-looking beans.
Had a note. They write about Matt Miles a lot down in Deshae County, and I think they said they were going to start harvesting, but that's sort of an anomaly.
Yeah. I did see some rice had been cut last week that had been delivered to Pine Bluff. Yeah,
really?
Producer's Rice Mill.
Huh. That's interesting.
I think there was another spot in Delta somewhere too.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Cornerstone Farms. I think that's
Cornerstone Farms.
Cornerstone Farms.
Well, it's upon us, I can assure you. Moving on to soybeans, we got a little bump this week here as well. Almost 65% of the crop is in good to excellent condition, and only 13% is rated poorly right now. We'll wrap up with livestock and hay conditions. I'm sorry to say, but this seems to be continuing that negative trend that we've seen really most of the summer. The alfalfa crop shows to have only 2% in the good to excellent column, and more than half is rated as fair. Livestock reports about 30% of the state's inventory at good to excellent, with half rated as fair. So we continue to see challenges there. Like I said, we supposed to have some storms last night in the northern third of the state. Hopefully that didn't do too much damage. And, we're just kind of continuing on this. We were dry for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I thought you were onto something.
So did I, but I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah, I am too.
Because I haven't had to water my yard all that much.
Man, I don't know. I have.
Have you?
Yeah. These past few
Or
weeks.
like once
I'd
a
say.
week, I think is kind of my average.
Yeah.
But I'm used to watering 3 times a week.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing 3 times a week.
You must have a really nice yard.
No, but you know what? A utility tore my yard up and put some sod down, and I've been trying to keep that alive. Take the don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Anyway, well, let's dig into the news.
All right, I think that's a good idea. So, agricultural land values and cash rent prices are on the rise again this year.
Oh boy,
that's a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It just depends on what kind of position you're in.
Right.
In an American Farm Bureau article published by agricultural economist Daniel Munch, it was reported that U.S. agricultural land values per acre increased by 7.4%, or $280 from 2022. So Munch cited his information from USDA NAS Land Values 2023 Summary Report, which was released on August 4th, just the other day. Just last year, from 2021 to 2022, land values increased 12%, or $420 per acre. Cash rents for ag land have also seen an increase from 2022. Cropland cash rent rose 4.7% to $155 an acre, and 7.1% to $15 an acre for pasture lands. These are all nationwide averages.
Okay.
Yeah. The U.S. average farm real estate value set a record at $4,080 an acre. This measurement includes the value of all land and buildings on farms. So just not the land, but all the other structures on the farm as well. This is a 7.4% or $280 per acre increase from last year, and is the second highest increase since USDA began the survey in 1997.
Wow.
Mooch contributes with these increases to a multitude of different variables, such as areas producing high-value crops. He kind of contributed, or was kind of an example would be like wine or specialty crops. These crops that are a lot of high-value, margin crops.
Yeah.
Urban areas also applying pressure for new developments. So like your bigger urban areas that are running out of room to develop.
Northwest Arkansas
would be one.
Yep.
Where am I? High commodity prices, of course, would be one. New government programs such as CRP, and investors looking for a safer return on investment during inflation who are investing in farm ground. Yeah. Cropland values alone rose to $5,460 per acre, which is an increase of 8.1% from 2022. Although marginally, this is more than the increase of 7.8% from 2022 to 2021. So we saw a bigger increase this year than we did last year, but 2 years in a row, pretty substantial increases.
Yeah, no doubt.
Pasture land values rose to $1,000 or $1,760 per acre on average, and is up 6.7% from 2022. This is a smaller increase than we saw in 2022 from 2021 of 11.5%. It should be noted, though, that in the last 7 years prior to 2021, pasture land values saw little to no change. So it wasn't until the last 2 years that the pasture land values started to increase. Yeah. The average U.S. cropland rent increased 4.7% to $155 an acre from 2022. Irrigated cropland rents increased 4.4% to $237 per acre, while non-irrigated cropland rents increased 5.2% to $142 per acre. And pasture land cash rents increased 7.7%, reaching $15 an acre. A lot of numbers, so I hope you're able to stay with me.
About $100 premium on irrigated land.
Yep, exactly. So just to finish this off, Mooch made comments in his article in which I 100% agree with. Rising cash rents are putting more pressure on producers who rely on rented ground to run their operations. This, coupled with inflation and high input costs, are putting heavy strains on producers. But on the other hand, again, what I mentioned earlier, it depends on what situation you're in.
Yep.
If you are a landowner and you're not dependent on cash rent prices, then you're happy with the increase in equity that your land has experienced. And then I also wanted to include some Arkansas averages here. Ag land value as a whole in Arkansas is up to $3,600. That's a 1% increase from last year. Cropland value is $3,180. It's a 2% increase from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Pasture land again, $2,900, and it is also another 2% increase from last year. And cropland cash rent is at $119 an acre, which is a 1% increase.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So Arkansas, looking at the national average, faring better, but
the state's looking better
still
than national average for sure.
At $3,100 or almost $3,200 cropland value.
Yeah, and what I took from this, I was trying to think. It kind of focused in on the last 2 years. We've seen some pretty substantial increases compared to prior years from there. So what in the last 2-3 years has been big issue? And the only thing I can think of, there was the pandemic.
I was going to say, there's a big COVID that I'm thinking of.
What kind of impact did COVID have on that? And was it supply chain issues? That commodity prices went up, input prices have gone up.
Inflation.
Crop prices have been great.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you've got high inflation, you have high inputs.
Well, if you think about it first, the low interest rates and a lot of cash on hand.
Yep.
And then you get into inflation, and like you said, all the input cost increases.
But then one line item in that article was that investors are investing in more farmland than they used to.
Well, we talked about Northwest Arkansas. There's a company in Northwest Arkansas, founded in Northwest Arkansas. All they do is sort of micro investing, and apologies if I've miscategorized that, but in cropland across the country.
Yep.
So you can come in and bring $1,000. I can bring $1,000, and we can join 100 other people and buy a farm in Nebraska.
Yep.
So, I'm oversimplifying that. I want to be very clear about that. But to your point, there are companies that were built for non-farmers to invest in farmland.
Absolutely. And
so.
I think that's another driver as well.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that's a good story. Y'all did an Ag Insider on that.
We did
last year.
Jake, I think Tyler did that, or one or the other.
I'd be curious
to go back and look.
If they're planning to do that again. Let us know if they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, next up we have some really unfortunate news from here in Arkansas, news that will certainly impact factory workers and farmers alike. Tyson Foods announced this week that it will close 4 plants in October, 1 in Arkansas, 1 in Indiana, and 2 in Missouri, employing nearly 3,000 people. This has been widely reported. We'll rely on reporting from John Magsom at the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. For our news here on the show, the announcement came as part of a third quarter's earning call on Monday, August 7th. The North Little Rock plant, the only Arkansas facility, with the North Little Rock plant being the only Arkansas facility impacted at this time, will affect 339 workers. The Wall Street Journal also reported on the announcement, noting that the Arkansas-based meat processor reported a $417 million quarterly loss on lower sales.
Wow.
Shares of Tyson stock fell by nearly 4% on the heels of the news out of Springdale.
So.
The reporting from Wall Street Journal notes that the company's stock has dropped nearly 40% in the last 12 months. So you see a trend there.
That's tough.
That led to this. Just a few months ago, Tyson closed 2 poultry facilities, 1 in Arkansas and 1 in Virginia, which impacted around 1,700 workers. Before that, in April, Tyson committed to eliminating 15% of its senior leadership positions and 10% of its corporate roles as a whole. As we continue to follow the story, we'll not only be interested in the impact on those workers in the facilities, but also the impact on producers here in the state.
Yeah, there's plenty of producers out there that were planning on filling those facilities.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What's going to happen to that?
Yeah.
What happened to them? What kind of situation are they in now?
Yeah. Well, I happen to know that as far as that farmer impact, we will have more on this week. I know as we speak, we're on the phone. Our poultry commodity division shares on the phone with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, talking to him about that. And then Chad on our PR team went up and talked to a couple of producers yesterday. And so we should have more on that producer perspective out and on our social channels by the end of this week. So keep an eye out there, and we'll continue to watch it. Really unfortunate situation, but
it's tough.
We'll just keep an eye on it. All right, well, let's take a short break from the news to hear a reminder about keeping rural roads safe this time of year.
Arkansas farmers and ranchers work 7 days a week. That means when you hit the road, you may be sharing it with farm equipment, especially if you're traveling along rural roads and county highways. Farm equipment moves slower than our pickup trucks and minivans. They may not have the safety lights and turn signals of our family vehicles either. The trucks and tractors moving down the road need extra room to make turns, cross bridges, and move through intersections too. We all get in a hurry sometimes, but it's important that we all stay safe, no matter if we're headed to buy groceries or grow them. So next time you're cruising past a pasture or field, keep an eye out for farmers. They'll be sure to keep an eye out for you too. If we all work together, we can make sure Arkansas is cultivating safe roads.
It's so important that we work together to keep each other safe on the roads. This time of year, you may find yourself on the road with a farmer moving hay or moving large equipment, especially in rural Arkansas. Let's just all be sure to help one another cultivate safe roads. Now let's get back to the news.
All righty.
All right. There's my last story for the day.
All right. It looks like a big one.
Yeah, this is some good news. So the Arkansas Department of Agriculture made an announcement of a $5.6 million grant they're going to receive from USDA.
Okay.
For the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program to improve food supply chain operations and strengthen local food systems throughout the state. Eligible entities include agricultural producers, processors, nonprofit organizations, local governments, tribal governments, and institutions. For complete details on eligible institutions, go to ams.usda.gov. So I just have a list here of what some of the things they're looking to accomplish for or within this grant. So the RFSI program will focus on funding activities, and they include improving the middle of the supply chain operations. So here in the state of Arkansas, we have a growing specialty crop industry, but we don't have a good supply chain to move that product. We're not we don't have the distribution.
More of a direct to market.
Yeah,
sort of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So also expand capacity for processing, aggregation, and distribution of agricultural products, like I just said, to create better markets for producers. Modernize manufacturing, tracking, storage, and information technology systems. Enhance worker safety through the adoption of new technologies, or invest in equipment or facility improvements. That'd be kind of like wash pack stations on the farm or in these potential new facilities. Improve the capacity of entities to comply with federal, state, and local food safety requirements, which is a really big issue for a lot of our local food producers. Those audits are really expensive, and they have to go through 2 at least a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's not including their water testing as well, on-farm water.
Wow.
Yeah. Improve operations through training opportunities, support the construction of new facilities, modernize or expand an existing facility, support the construction of wastewater management structures, modernize processing and manufacturing equipment, and then also develop, customize, or install equipment that reduces greenhouse gas emissions, increase efficiency in water use, and improves in-or water quality and meets one or more of USDA's climate action goals. The Ag Department is developing a state plan to establish the priorities of this funding and is seeking feedback from the public for this development for this plan. Interested parties are invited to submit comments until August 7th, 2023. The link is really lengthy, so I'm sure we can put this link in the show notes if anybody's interested in giving public information. But that's about all I have on that. I was actually on a meeting for this planning of this grant right before I came here. So
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know you said August 7th, but I will tell you that form is still up and still live, even though the 7th
it
is
is
Monday.
It's actually the 10th today, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go.
So maybe sneak in some input if you got it there. So basically, if a farmer's looking to do any of these items that you mentioned, they might be eligible for some of this.
Absolutely.
Is that how I'm interpreting?
So the grant hadn't actually been released to people within the state to apply for it yet. Right now, we're kind of the Ag Department's in the planning stages of trying to pinpoint exactly what are the needs for the state and how this money could better that industry here within Arkansas, because each state's going to be different from the next.
Yeah.
And what are the needs that we have here, and what is best going to improve or give opportunity for producers in the state to economically benefit themselves.
Yeah. Well, I just want to tell you, your expertise in that specialty crops market knows no bounds. And you always, seriously, you always impress me, man.
Well, I really appreciate it.
It's
something
the
I
fact
enjoy
that
doing.
you know the steps that they have to go through, water testing. I mean, that just blows me away. That I don't know how you keep up with all that. It's really
I don't know
impressive.
how sometimes I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster, just holding on.
Well, you do a wonderful job. Well, let's wrap up this week with a little lost and found. All right, maybe not that lost and found, but kind of like it.
Okay.
And this is an Arkansas Ag Department story too. The Ag Department in the state announced this week the launch of the Arkansas Animal at Large online reporting form, and I did have a good cackle at that Animal at Large. I was like, what are they talking about? But let me explain. This new reporting form was developed to implement Act 594, which was enacted during the 2023 regular session of the Arkansas General Assembly, and will provide a statewide method of notification of lost livestock. Both those who have found livestock and those who have lost livestock may post notifications with photographs and descriptions of the animals, the dates they were lost or found, and the county in which they were lost or found. The posted information will serve as the Arkansas Ag Department's publicly accessible record of all livestock currently in the custody of impounders within the state, in addition to providing better avenues for enforcement and resolution of disputes. Act 594 updated, modified, and clarified 25 statutes and repealed 59 antiquated laws regarding livestock running at large. This is a priority for us in the policy, in our policy book, updating those fencing laws and things like that. And I know I talked to Jake Cartwright about all this, and certainly he was involved in this while it was moving through the session, and Mark Lambert also. Basically, Farm Bureau was involved in helping with this too. Prior to Act 594, many of the statutes regarding fencing and livestock running at large dated back to the 1800s, with some statutes not being substantially altered since the 1940s. You can access the form. I wonder if they had any interesting language.
I think they did.
In this. So anyway, Buckaroo, you can access the form via the Ag Department's website or reach out to our Commodities Department for a helping hand.
Which one of us is Buckaroo? Who was he talking to?
Either. I just wonder if Buckaroo is in that legislation. I mean, it was written in the 1800s.
We're still hearing conversations about this in the counties at PD meetings.
Meaning as a positive thing,
That
being
and
able to.
They're having issues with somebody has a wreck and goes to their fence, and then they're not there when they come to, and nobody's nobody's liable for fixing it because they couldn't find who did it, or cattle get out, and it can be a nightmare situation.
Well, it came up going all the way back up to the top of the show in that cycling conversation between Wes and Andy. It came up in that conversation. Andy's like, "Hey, sometimes we're out riding and there's just a cow in the middle of the road. Like, what should we do? Like, if we're a cyclist, what's something we could do about that?" And they share, he gives them a couple ideas, and maybe this should be added to that list. Take a couple photos, submit it. Maybe we should be encouraging the cycling community to hop in on this too.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I thought that was interesting. Like I said, Jake said we had done some work on it as well, so we wanted to report on that today.
Good deal.
And that wraps up the news.
Check.
That was a long news portion.
It was a good one though.
Yeah.
What do you have for us today, Brian?
He just keeps nodding.
He's so excited.
I do.
So when Taylor and Norley came in here, they asked him, like, "Do you have Stump the Host stuff?" He's like, "I've got some things."
Is that the only thing I look forward to?
Yeah, that's what they wanted. They just say, "Hey, when these two go to look like idiots, we want to be here for it. Front row seat."
Now, I try not to make you look like idiots or anything, but it is time to play.
They did it.
He did it. I'm glad it's back. All right. Well, that's interesting sound.
Yeah, sounds like they're busy next door.
Either they want us to be done.
That's a good thing.
Or that is a good
They're just
thing.
trying to let me know they're working in there. So.
That's it.
All right. Well, you may know what this is. I'm going to butcher it, I know, because it's a hard one to pronounce. But
Do your best.
what is a Dakimakura?
Dakimakura.
Dakimakura.
Can you give us like a...
Yeah, I mean, there's
Use it in a sentence?
Yeah. Like a spelling bee.
Well, it's Japanese.
Okay.
I'm feeling like I want to watch some TV or something. I'm going to go grab my Dakimakura. Then.
Oh, okay. Recliner.
Blanket?
Close. Close on the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a body pillow.
Oh, okay. Body pillow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've never had one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I think once you use one, you probably never go back.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
Did your wife get that specialty pillow when she was pregnant?
No.
You know the thing that looks like
I know
a
what you're
big
talking
thick.
about.
I didn't have anywhere to sleep after she got that.
I will say I have a micro foam pillow. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a Tempur-Pedic type pillow. And I have to take it with me wherever I go now.
I have one of those too. It's got the weird shape. It's
Yeah.
got the divot in it.
Mhm.
I love that thing. All right.
Sorry.
Taki Mahuro. All right, Mr. Roboto.
all right. Okay. True or false?
Yeah.
Eggplant is a vegetable.
Oh, false.
I'm going to say false.
Specialty
That is
crops
correct.
expert.
Mm-hmm.
What
Because
is
it
it?
has seeds. It's a fruit.
It's a
Yep.
fruit.
And what do they call an eggplant in the UK? It's not eggplant. I can't pronounce it.
Do you know?
I just saw this on the
Really?
internet the other day. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. And you don't know.
Hang on. Give me a second.
So,
Yeah. Thou shalt not ask questions you don't know the answer to.
is it something like a simple translation, like they call fries chips? Or is it like
No,
a whole
I
nother,
don't know.
whole nother
I'll let you
thing?
pronounce this word.
I'd rather not. Aubergine.
Aubergine.
Okay.
Aubergine.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'd like to know more of the story.
But
on that.
when I first heard that question, I thought it was going to be like fries or chips.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
It's
No,
aubergine.
Huh. Completely different word.
Do you like fried aubergine?
I'll eat it.
All right. You guys like true or false questions. So another one.
All right.
True or false?
Okay.
Santa Claus is a variety of melon.
I'm going to say false.
True.
It is true.
Really?
The Santa Claus.
Not watermelon, though.
Yeah, I think that's what
You said
2 to
melon.
1. Me.
I just said melon. I didn't say what type of melon.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
one more. Where did the pineapple plant originate?
It's not what you would say.
What would I say?
Hawaii is the natural
Is it?
answer, I think. I'm going to say Brazil.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere closer to the equator.
South America.
Yeah, South America. Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of watermelon and history, we've talked about this another podcast on here before called Bear Grease.
Yeah.
Do you listen to it?
Yeah, when I have the chance.
Yeah. Do you know it? This guy's from Arkansas,
Clay
Clay
Newcomb.
Newcomb.
Yeah.
He did this story. He has an entire episode on Arkansas and like the history. Anyway, it's a really interesting show. But they do these little sidebars, kind of like our deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name? Brent Reeves, the guy who's on the show with him. He does one on watermelon and watermelon varieties in Arkansas. He tells a really cool story about the social aspect of watermelon.
Yeah.
And it's worth your time. I'd be happy to share a link with you. But I listened to it like the day after Hempstead County was here bringing watermelon. It was just kind of timely. Anyway, he talks about 3 different varieties, but says there's hundreds of varieties. And he breaks down the genetic process of making seedless watermelon in an entertaining way. So anyway, it's a cool episode. It's 25 minutes. It's shorter than this show, so go listen to it. It's a fun one. All right, well, those are pretty good. I feel like we fared pretty well today.
Did we? I kind of feel like it went long.
No, I mean on the trivia and that portion of it.
Yeah, did he get a win on that one since he guessed Brazil, but it was actually South America?
I'll let it slide. Yeah.
What's funny is I was going to say South America, but I thought I'd go a little bit more specific.
So we tied.
Yeah, I don't know if we tied, but
look at him. Did he get a win?
Yeah,
Did he get one?
He's got to know. He's got to know. All right. Well, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find the video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version on iTunes or Spotify. And make sure you subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes.
Yep, please do. It helps. And the Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown.
And I'm John McMinn.
And we'll see you next week.